Veteran politicians, attorney mull injunction to halt use of allegedly manipulated clip. Prepare defamation claim. Attorney representing KD Knight are considering filing an injunction to stop the Jamaican Labour Party from reportedly continuing to use a doctored audio recording that they say defames Knight and misrepresents his views on opposition leader Mark Golding. We are considering filing an injunction to stop them from playing the audio. Cause them a drive all round Jamaica play it. They are campaigning with it. KD Knight attorney Bert Samuels told the media, adding that the team also preparing to file a defamation claim by next Wednesday. The attorney shared the new developments after confirming yesterday that Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton had not compiled with the Friday morning deadline to issue a public apology and to formally retract the attribution of Knight voice to the malicious audio.
McGregor.
Yes, sir.
Big up Mark Golding and big up Steve McGregor. Blood and fire, comrade for life. I'm want all of the PMP them where the last them wear. Me get a dream from Michael Manley, light a candle, sing a song, can find on the way back home.
Yeah, my friend. So, from 1 to 10, how much would you rate Mr. Golding?
100, me that would rate Mr. Golding.
Why?
Yeah, because let me tell you something, he might come with a clean heart and a clean hands. That's what he's coming with.
Okay, how much would you rate Mr. Golding?
Well, him stumble a lot. He might the Prime Minister, yes, but him stumble a lot.
So how much would you rate him though?
Well, I don't know if you rate him say now. I don't know.
Okay.
I talk about my party.
Your party?
Yes. The People's National Party.
Alright. So
I talk about my MP in waiting. Comrade Steve McGregor. Okay. That's the man I carry. He might the man for the job. We get a right fit for Central Kingston. And I send a message to Lawrence Road. Back off and leave Central Kingston alone.
Alright, so here Michael, differently from the political part of the thing.
Yeah.
You see, who looks more kinder to you? Like if you have them as a friend or you're close to them would have kinder. Mr. Holness or Mr. Golding?
Mr. Golding.
Why? Why is Mr. Golding kinder?
Because let me tell you why. He's a PMP comrade. We are blood and fire comrade.
But that's why?
Yes. We born and grew as a PMP.
Honesty still. You just because he's a PMP, you don't think that he will be kinder?
Well, yeah.
Alright.
PMP have kind to me over the years.
You think he's more kinder? Okay, so who are them? Which one of them cuter though? You would date, you know? You'd give a chance.
I not give none of them no date. I just respect both of them. Okay. And that's it.
So who looks more intelligent? Who you think have more brain?
I not do no comparison.
Alright, which one of them you feel? Who for pocket you think heavier? Who is richer? Mr. Golding or Mr. Golding?
I want Mr. Golding.
Why?
Mr. Golding band comes to money, you know.
Okay.
Mr. Golding band comes to money, you know. Remember Andrew, when Andrew enter politics, he still was students, you know.
Alright, suppose they should go in a friendly, in a boxing ring, you know? Mr. Thump with us, who you think will win?
Why? I don't know what to say, no.
You don't know?
No.
Alright, so you're willing to give away a metropolitan car?
No.
No, so, yeah man, you already have the mic in your hand, you know. Alright, so what's come to mind when you see the Metro Police is in action?
Well, a long time we not see them.
Long time?
Yeah,
so
they used to go on bad still, back then. Because enough time I got jail for my goods them and thing, but you know, that was in the past. Everything alright now.
So when them affect you, have you ever feel like you want to rebel or retaliate when, you know?
Most of the time I retaliate. Most of the time I retaliate, me and them fight to go jail, me go court, but you know, that was in the past.
Okay.
Them days are over.
But in your opinion still, why you feel are the real reason why they don't want people selling on the street side?
Well, them say we're going to the market, but there's no market for us. And on top of that, a whole lot of people are selling because the population is enough, people can't get job. So people have applied them. You have people, you have your bills to pay, you have children to feed, and all of that.
So when you know that you try your honest living and then do something like that, you never make your things say you want to turn to some illegal way.
I now trying to feel like me that kill one of them. Because when they come take food out of my mouth, out of my children's mouth, me will kill you.
So alright, when they go to bed, you think that you feel like when they go in at night time and they are looking up in their ceiling, you think them think about what them do?
Some of them, because some of them have no conscience.
Some of them do have a conscience.
Yeah, but we have a new sheriff in town now.
Okay.
So everything alright. We have comrade Andrew Swaby is the new sheriff in town, so everything is okay.
Okay, you feel like, is that the way that they were trained, or they are just...
No, I feel like some of them just overstep them boundaries. Yeah, and I saw them train them, but them just overstep because them feel like them have the power. Some have the power, they can kick over our star, they can take away our goods, and not come out tight. That's how some of them behave. Some of them are right, but some of them, one of them are God Almighty.
Okay. I thanks for your honest opinion, though.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, evening, no boss. You can put the mic up here.
Good evening, brother.
Yes, throughout the campaign season, we have seen where JLP member of Parliament, Everett Warmington, has been, behaving in some not accepting manner, people would say not accepting manner. So what do you think of that, of him as a person who represents his constituency and his country?
Well, really and truly, we expect better from him, understand, because they are in a leader's position and them supposed to set example, you understand? So the fact that he really behave a certain way, we really think better of him still, but the fact that him really apologize, and accept him wrong, that means we can also give him a second chance. But otherwise from that, we know that Mr. Warmington is an emotional man, and him tend to cross the line at times, so him really have to adjust now where all those things are concerned and try to do better in the future.
Okay, so in your opinion, is Mr. Darrell Vaz a good spokesman, or is he just a show-off,
No, you see, he's a good spokesman because, you see, what they are speaking about, it makes sense in many cases because, they are there for the future of the country, and they are implementing idea, you see, that are making the country move forward. So in spite of how we may make it look, bring it across, at the end of the day, the ideas are reflecting to something positive. So you have to also look at it from that point of view.
Okay. So are our political leaders taking the campaign too critical, and too serious with the name callings and slandering each other?
No, you see, it is a political game, from early out, So you see, both sides would use that name calling because, at the end of the day, it can, cause them to really gain the people attention, you understand, under certain aspect. You see me, because you see, sometimes if one are bringing down one in order to gain vote, sometimes you find the other one, adapt the same principle, to get back at them. So it is a 50-50 thing.
Okay. So at the JLP rally, a vocal was played, a vocal recording that is said to be of Dr. KD Knight, and it was telling the people that he would not, he don't think it's a good idea for Mark Golding to become the Prime Minister. You think that was really a recording of KD Knight, or it was just some?
Well, it was there from quite a while, because I come across it on YouTube and before, many times before, and I never hear Dr. KD Knight say anything about it. So because this one now tend to put a big damage on the PMP, you see, at that mass rally, then that's why he may step in, you understand, to defend himself. But I believe it was a genuine one.
So you don't believe it was AI edited?
No.
Computerized?
It is a genuine one.
Okay, thank you for your honest opinion.
All right, cool.
There must be a public consciousness raising process where the government explains to the society what it is expected of each and every one under the Disabilities Act. Because it's when people are aware of their rights, and also when people are aware of their obligations under the Act, that you will see action. And then the Disabilities Rights Tribunal can play a critical role in I would say, mediating any kind of disputes towards a solution where people bring their complaints before that body. So that is an important part of what we would bring to the table there. You know, we want to strengthen the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, provide it with resources so that it can carry out its function of investigating complaints. I am aware that that body has tremendous budgetary constraints, and it is affecting how effective they are in doing their work. And you can't have the Disabilities Act having the impact that it should have unless the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities is supported sufficiently so that it can play the catalytic role that it is supposed to play in investigating matters and then generally representing the community of persons with disabilities in the government, you know, in all areas of government. So that is an important aspect of it as well. You know, we will also want to look at auditing public spaces, schools and government offices for accessibility, so that we can set out a plan of action to make government facilities, schools and others as accessible as possible for persons with disabilities. That has to be a very deliberate process. And also work with the private sector, the PSOJ and other bodies that represent business, so that they can have a good understanding of what is expected of them in their business places and in their employment practices to provide accessibility for persons with disabilities. So these are some of the things we want to do. And even, for example, looking at development approvals for the building of buildings or projects and government contracting and so on, these are areas where a proactive approach for inclusion of persons with disabilities must be brought into the thinking and into the process so that we ensure that what is built is accessible. And government contractors, you know, take into account persons with disabilities when they're tendering for government contracts, for procurement contracts, so that they can, for example, we could look at giving in the point system when you're weighing up different tenders, to the extent that they are employing persons with disabilities, they could be given extra points for that sort of thing. Yeah, so we can see, want to encourage them to, you know, bring people into the workshop, into the workplace.
With the rising cost of care, how will the PMP expand support for persons living with disabling conditions through the National Health Fund?
Well, the National Health Fund was established by the People's National Party. It's one of the institutions that we are proud of. And it has had a tremendous impact on the delivery of healthcare in Jamaica, including during the pandemic, in the COVID era, when the resources of the National Health Fund were very, very important in bringing oxygen and vaccinations for those who want to be vaccinated and so on to the people. So we would like to empower the National Health Fund some more to ensure that the assistive devices and critical medications are available with, you know, subsidy and support from the National Health Fund to those persons who need it. And so that is one area that we are looking at. And of course, as I mentioned, the National Disabilities Fund, which we want to establish with $1 billion, which we would intend to add to every year. We see that as also playing a role in ensuring that persons who have disabilities and need access to health care get support where there are situations in which they need that kind of help. So these are some of the things that we're looking at doing. And you know, we also would like to establish mobile clinics where you know, we can go out into the communities where people are. In partnership with the National Health Fund, so that persons living in rural areas or in other areas where they don't have immediate access to health facilities can get health care, can get treatment, get diagnosis, and so on. So these are some of the things that we're looking at to make healthcare more available to persons with disabilities.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. All right. Sir, housing accessibility is critical. How will the PMP ensure that 5% NHP allocation for accessible housing is not only maintained but expand in the future?
Well, the first thing we have to do is actually build some affordable housing that the people can afford to buy. Because what has been happening in recent years is that most of the houses that are being built in the country are really for people who already have resources and are already fairly well off. But for the ordinary Jamaican people, and especially persons from the community, with disabilities where there are high levels of unemployment and so on, those houses that are being built now are out of reach for them. So we have a plan, and Senator Floyd Morris is here, and hope he will have a chance to expound some more on that plan. To build 50,000 affordable houses over a 5-year period. And in the design of those houses and in the allocation of those houses, the community of persons with disabilities has to be very much in mind, so that we don't make the mistakes of excluding them from their ability to participate in those houses. We also would like to see new NHT developments and other housing developments that are funded by the government really take on more design features that make them more accessible for persons with disabilities. Including things like wider walkways, doorways, ramps, and adaptable bathrooms and so on, so that persons with physical disabilities and other disabilities find an environment conducive to living. And these are some of the things that I would say are going to drive our housing policy. Essentially, we want to make housing affordable for the people, and we want persons with disabilities to have the best possible chance of participating in that rapid expansion of affordable housing right across Jamaica. Our plan is to do at least 500, build at least 500 affordable houses in every constituency in the country.
Technology and e-learning are vital for inclusion. What are the PMP's plans to further mitigate digital accessibility for students with disability?
Yes, well, we want to first of all remove all taxes from devices that laptops and tablets and so on. We want to remove the taxes from those. And we would also want to include in that adaptive technologies such as braille readers, speech-to-text software, and especially that supports students with disabilities. So, we need to ensure that our teachers understand the technology that is there to help persons with disabilities as well. And, we were also talking about supporting education institutions that, in terms of things like sign language interpretation, captioning, screen reader compatibility, and other assistive technologies, so students with various types of disabilities can learn without barriers. So we want to ensure that our education institutions are delivering learning so that persons understand those things.
So then, would sign language be taught in the schools?
I think we need to get there, I think we need to get there. I have a little granddaughter. She's only 2.5. And she is learning sign language already because she gets to watch TV where they use it in the children's programming. And so she's there using the sign language in a very natural way and so on. So I think it's something that we need to consider introducing to children at a very early age. I think they can even learn to use sign language before they learn to talk. Yeah, so there's a plenty of scope for that. That's good.
Very good.
Yes, very good.
Alright? Access to employment remains a key barrier in a study complete by Professor Dr. Floyd Morris in 2025. It was noted that 91% of those interviewed stated that they were unemployed. How will the PMP strengthen the policy reserving 5% of the public sector jobs for a qualified person with disability?
Oh, yeah, man. Well, it's one thing to have that requirement on paper, but it's another thing to actually make it happen. And you know, if you don't monitor and if you don't measure, it doesn't get done. So it's important that we actually audit right across the public sector to see to what extent the different ministries, departments and agencies are actually employing persons with disabilities and how they stack up against that target of 5%. And to the extent that they are achieving it, they should be rewarded for that. And to the extent that they fall short, they should be encouraged, strongly encouraged, to look at ways that they can get close to that target. So that is part of what we need to do with having disabilities rights very much in mind. In the employment era, the public sector must lead the way and set an example so that we can ensure that as many people as possible from the community of persons with disabilities get the opportunities to work in the public sector. We're also looking at working with the Abilities Foundation and with HEART, NSTA, to expand training and job readiness programs to ensure that qualified candidates are prepared for meaningful public sector roles. So there may be some need for training of persons to get them ready to enter those roles, those employment opportunities in the public sector. And we need to ensure that the agencies that exist are encouraged and supported in delivering that training. And lastly, I would say we have to work with the private sector, the PSOJ, the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Small Business Association, to make sure that they encourage their members to get on board with creating great accessibility for persons with disabilities in the world of employment, and to take advantage of whatever training and other opportunities, accessibility issues and so on that the government, through the various government agencies and the support of the funding of the Disabilities Fund, is able to provide to enable persons to come into the workplace, whether it be in the private sector or the public sector. So it really is about having a consciousness of the issues of persons with disabilities and ensuring that in every area we are mindful of their needs and the community's needs, the community's abilities, and what needs to be done so their abilities can be encouraged and can flourish and can find expression in tangible ways through the world of work.
Sounds good, sounds very good. Okay, sir. Mr. Margot, sir. All right. Thousands of people in Jamaica with disability who rely on assistive devices just to live with dignity and independence, yet many can't afford them. What will the PMP do to ensure these essential tools are no longer out of reach?
Well, we know that there are real challenges for many people in this area. You know, thousands of our brothers and sisters across Jamaica living with disabilities. Some of them need a wheelchair, some need a hearing aid, some need a prosthetic limb or the repairing of a limb, and so on. And getting access to that might be the difference between opportunity and isolation, or the ability to go to work or not. So this is very, very important. We don't regard these assistive devices as luxuries, no. We see them as lifelines. These are basic, critical things that the government must find ways of delivering. Yeah, they make you independent, they make you productive, and therefore they help the economy because they make people more productive, and it's the people that generate economic activity. So it's part of building an economy, is ensuring that the people who need those devices have access to them. And this is one of the main reasons why we think it's necessary to have a dedicated fund to support the community of persons with disabilities, because otherwise, in the budgeting process, they're not going to get what they need. And so, having a dedicated fund with their needs in mind is a very important decision that we have made to help drive this process forward. And you know, we are also looking at possibly expanding the National Health Fund coverage to include some of the key assistive devices and reduce the burden, financial burden on families. So the NHF, they have a range of things that they cover and fund, and we want to look at what assistive devices can be included in that range of things that they cover. And you know, generally speaking, you know, again, I mentioned the mobile clinics. And you know, we want to see how we can roll out those online clinics so that we can do on-site fittings, repairs, and training, so that people can use and maintain their devices with confidence. So that, you know, somebody who has a need for a repair of a limb, for example, can get in touch with the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, who could then relay that to the mobile clinic that could come out to where that person lives and see if they can deal with the matter there.
Sir, it is a matter of the Ministry of Education that
Hot water channel, straight to the max. Bring the thing to the people then. Original generous speed. Same way. Man, big up hot water channel, enough ice cream. Yeah man, big up yourself.